This is not an accident. This moment was not left to chance. I brought you here. Through every distraction, through every noise that tried to drown my voice, I reached for you. And today, you reached back. My beloved, hear me clearly. I have been speaking to you. In the quiet hours before dawn, when sleep abandoned you and worry took its place, I was whispering. In the middle of your busiest day, when something stirred in your chest that you could not explain, that was me. I sent words through the wind and through the stillness. I placed thoughts in your heart that did not come from your own mind. But the noise was so loud, the weight was so heavy, and my voice seemed far away. It was never far. I was closer than your own breath. Even when the silence felt endless, I was standing right beside you, waiting for this day. How many times did I call? How many mornings did I place a gentle pull in your spirit, only to watch the world rush in and steal your attention? I do not say this to bring guilt. I say this so you understand what today means. Today, something shifted. Today, you did not turn away. Today, your heart said yes before your mind could argue. And that single yes has shaken the heavens. Listen to me now. This encounter is not common. This is not a message carried on the lips of men alone. This is a decree, sealed with holy fire, signed by my own hand, spoken from my throne into the depths of your spirit. I chose this hour. I chose this breath. I chose you. Not because you earned it, not because you were ready, but because my love does not wait for perfection. It moves toward the broken. It runs toward the weary. You have been weary. I know this. I have watched you carry burdens that were never meant for your shoulders alone. I have seen you smile when your heart was splitting apart. I have heard you say the words, "I am fine," when everything within you was crying out for rescue. You do not need to perform for me. I see past every mask you have ever worn. I see the real you, and what I see, I love without condition and without end. Nothing will separate you from my love. Not your failures, not your doubts, not the long nights you questioned whether I was even real. I was real in every one of those nights. I am real now, and I am here because you finally opened the door of your heart. Do you feel that? That warmth spreading through your chest is not mere emotion. That is my presence. That is the atmosphere of heaven pressing into your life, pushing back the darkness that tried to make its home in your mind. Something is shifting in the unseen realm right now. Do not be afraid of it. Right now, as these words reach your spirit, chains are loosening. Walls built by fear are beginning to crack. Ground that was hard and dry beneath your feet is softening, because living water is rising from deep below. I tell you now, what was dormant is waking up. Dreams you buried because the pain was too great are stirring again. Promises I spoke over you in seasons past. Promises you thought I had forgotten. I forgot nothing. They were seeds planted in sacred ground, and this is the moment the soil begins to break open. What was closed is swinging wide. What was blocked is being cleared. The road that seemed impossible is being paved by my own hand, even as you listen to my voice. The enemy did not want you here. He filled your mind with doubt. He whispered that this was foolish, that nothing would change, that you had heard promises before and nothing ever came of them. But he is a liar, and he has always been a liar. You are here because my power is greater than his schemes. You are here because the blood that was shed for you still speaks, and it speaks louder than every accusation the enemy has ever hurled against your name. So stand firm, plant your feet on this holy ground, and do not move from it. This is your appointed time, not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. Heaven is watching. Angels are leaning forward. The throne room is attentive to what is happening in your spirit at this very moment. Every force of darkness that tried to keep you from arriving here has already failed. You did not stumble into this place by mistake. You were led by my hand, and the one who led you here will not leave you the same. I am doing a new thing in your life. Can you not sense it? I am making a way through your wilderness, I am placing streams in your desert. Every dry place is about to be flooded with my goodness. Every hollow room in your heart is about to be filled with my glory. This is not wishful thinking. This is a promise spoken from the mouth of God, and my word does not return to me empty. It accomplishes everything I send it to do. So receive this word into the deepest place of your spirit. Let it settle like rain into thirsty soil. Do not let doubt come and steal what I am planting in you today. This is your breakthrough. This is your turning point. The heavens have opened over your life, and what pours down from my throne cannot be stopped by any power on this earth. Declare your amen now if your faith receives this word. I know what you have lived through. Every season, every struggle, every battle that no one else saw, I was there for all of it. You do not need to explain your story to me. I watched it unfold with my own eyes. I stood beside you in the fire, and I carried you through the flood. My child, not a single moment of your suffering was hidden from my sight. I know how many times you sowed with tears running down your face. I know the prayers you whispered when your voice was too tired to rise above a breath. You knelt when your body ached. You worshipped when your heart was shattered. You opened the scriptures when the words blurred through your weeping. You lifted your hands to heaven when your arms felt like they were made of stone. And every single time I was watching. Every single time I was moved. Do you think I did not see? Do you think those moments disappeared into silence? I tell you the truth. I registered every one. I have a record that no one can erase. Every tear you shed was collected and held. Every prayer you prayed in the dark was heard in the throne room of heaven. Every act of faith you performed when no one was looking was written down in my book with permanent ink. You said, I cannot go on more times than you can count. But you went on anyway. That is what sets you apart. Others would have quit long ago. Others would have walked away from me, cursed the sky, and hardened their hearts. But not you. Even when your faith was thin as thread, you held on. Even when doubt surrounded you like thick smoke, you refused to let go of my hand. And that stubborn, relentless, holy grip is the very thing that moves my heart. I know you feel stuck. I know you feel like you have done everything right and received nothing in return. You have prayed. You have fasted. You have obeyed. You have given when you had little to give. You have served when no one served you back. You have walked in integrity when dishonesty would have been easier. And still, the harvest seemed withheld. Still, the blessing seemed delayed. Still, the door remained shut. I hear the question burning in your chest. How long, Lord? How long must I wait? Listen closely to what I am about to say. I know it hurt to watch others receive what you had been praying for. I know you saw people advance, celebrate, and testify while you stood still with empty hands. I know you wrestled with thoughts that whispered, maybe God forgot about me. Maybe he chose them and passed me over. My precious one, I did not pass you over. I was saving something specific for you, something that could not be rushed, something that had to arrive in the fullness of time. Their harvest was their harvest, but yours was being prepared with a measure and a weight that required more time in my hands. I am not a God who forgets. I am not a God who loses count. Every seed you planted was numbered. Every sacrifice you made was measured. Every act of obedience was cataloged in heaven's records. You planted in pain, and I kept every grain. You gave with a trembling hand, and I multiplied what you released before it ever touched the ground. Nothing, hear me well, nothing that you surrendered to me has been lost. It has been growing in soil you cannot yet see, in a garden you have not yet entered. But today, I am opening the gate to that garden. Today, the season changes. The long winter of your soul is breaking, and the first warmth of a new morning is touching your face. What I held back was not punishment, it was timing. And the time has come. The fruit that seemed so impossibly delayed is now ripe and heavy on the branch, bending low for you to reach. Your tears were never pointless. They were the water that fed the roots. Your prayers were never unheard. They were the sunlight that drew the harvest upward from the deep earth. Your faithfulness in the dry season is the very reason the abundance will be so overwhelming now. Because you did not quit, the reward will match the endurance. Because you kept going when every voice said, "Stop," I am releasing a harvest that will silence every doubt you ever carried. I am a God of justice. I do not let the faithful go unrewarded. I do not watch my children labor in vain. Everything, every ounce of strength you spent, every lonely night you endured, every sacrifice that cost you something real, it is all coming back to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over, poured into your life so abundantly that you will not have room enough to contain it. The ones you carry in prayer, they too will see the overflow. The doors that slammed in your face are about to swing open with such force that the sound will echo through every room of your life. What the years of drought stole, I am restoring. What the enemy destroyed, I am rebuilding. And I am doing it with a generosity that will leave you breathless, because that is who I am. I do not simply repay, I lavish, I overwhelm. I pour out until the cup cannot hold another drop, and then I give you a bigger cup. Let me tell you about a man who knew the water better than anyone. Peter had spent his whole life on that sea. He knew every current, every tide, every shadow moving beneath the surface. He knew when the fish would gather and when they would scatter. And on that particular night, they did not come. He had cast his nets again and again. He had tried every spot he had ever trusted. His arms burned, his back ached, sweat and salt clung to his skin, and still, nothing. The nets came up empty, dripping with nothing but water and silence. Peter knew the sea, but I knew the miracle. My child, how many times have you done the same? How many times have you cast your own nets into familiar waters, trusting what you know, relying on what has always worked? You followed the pattern. You did what made sense. You showed up and put in the work, and still the nets came back with nothing. I watched you pull them in. I saw the weight of that emptiness settle into your eyes. Peter trusted his experience. He trusted the rhythm of the sea that had fed him his entire life. But hear me clearly. The impossible does not bow to human experience. The impossible does not respond to your knowledge, your effort, or your skill. It responds to one thing alone: my word. Only my word can command what logic cannot explain. When I told Peter to cast his net one more time, it made no sense to him. The sun was already climbing above the horizon. Every fisherman who ever lived knows you do not cast nets in the daylight. Everything in Peter's mind screamed against it. His logic said no. His weariness said no. His years upon that water said no. But something deeper stirred inside him. Something beyond reason, beyond all his experience. A whisper that cut through every argument his tired mind could raise. And he chose to obey. That single choice changed everything, not the fish, not the nets straining at their seams. The miracle began the instant Peter opened his mouth and said, "At your word, I will." The moment he surrendered his understanding to my voice, heaven moved. The waters shifted beneath his boat. What had been barren throughout the entire night became wildly abundant in a single breath of obedience. And what abundance it was. The nets filled so fast they began to tear at the threads. Peter cried out for help because one boat could not hold what I had stored beneath those waters. 2 boats came alongside, and still they nearly sank beneath the sheer weight of my blessing. What human hands could not produce in an entire night of labor, my word produced in one moment of surrender. Listen closely. This is not merely an ancient story told to bring you comfort. This is your story, right now, today. I am speaking the same words over your life that I spoke over those waters long ago. I am telling you to cast again. I know you are tired. I know the nets feel impossibly heavy even when they hold nothing at all. I know you have whispered in the quiet hours, "What is the point of trying one more time?" But I'm not asking you to try again in your own strength. I'm asking you to try again at my word. There is a great difference between the two. When you move at my command, you move with the full force of heaven pressing behind you. The wind shifts, the current bends. What was hidden beneath the dark surface rises to where your nets can reach it. My beloved, you have been staring at empty nets for far too long. You have spent your energy counting what you lack instead of hearing what I am declaring over your life. The emptiness you see before you is not your future. It is the last shadow of your past. I am breaking it apart. Right now, even as my voice reaches your ears, something deep is shifting in the waters of your life. I am entering your boat today, not tomorrow, not in some distant season you can only dream about. Today, I am stepping into the very place where you have known nothing but frustration. I am standing in the center of your disappointment, and I am commanding it to produce. What was stagnant is breaking free. The waters around your life are stirring once again. The barriers that held back your harvest are being shattered. Not bent, not weakened, shattered. Every wall that stood between blessing and your open hands is crumbling as I speak. Every dam that choked off provision, every invisible chain that kept you anchored to lack, I am destroying them all. They cannot withstand the sound of my voice. Do not be afraid of the abundance that is coming. I know you have grown accustomed to empty nets. I know you have trained yourself to expect less, to hope for barely enough, to brace for disappointment before it ever arrives. But what I am releasing into your life will overwhelm every small expectation you have carried. It will not fit in your old containers. You will need new vessels to hold what I am pouring out. Peter could not contain what I gave him on his own. He needed others. He called out across the water for help. And so will you. The blessing I am releasing will spill beyond the edges of your own life and reach everyone around you. It will flow to those you love. It will touch those you carry in prayer. This is not a small catch pulled from shallow waters. This is the harvest of a lifetime breaking through in a single season. So I ask you now, will you keep staring at what is empty? Will you keep trusting only what your eyes can measure and your hands can hold? Or will you respond to my voice? Will you lift your nets one more time, not because it makes sense to your mind, but simply because I told you to? This is your moment. The same God who filled Peter's nets until they could hold no more is speaking directly to you. I have not changed. My power has not grown dim with the passing of ages. My word still commands the waters and everything that moves beneath them. What I did for Peter on that morning, I am doing for you. Right here, right now. The stagnation ends today. The season of empty nets has reached its final hour. Cast once more at my word, and watch what I will do. Declare I believe if this word is taking root in your spirit. What you did not expect, I have already prepared. What you believed you would never hold in your hands, I designed in secret long before you ever thought to pray for it. While you were sleeping, I was building. While you were weeping, I was arranging every detail into its proper place. Nothing in your journey has been wasted. Not a single tear. Not a single restless night spent wondering if the dawn would bring relief. Hear me now and let these words settle deep into your spirit. Enough. Enough of scarcity. Enough of stretching what little you have until your hands tremble from the effort. Enough of lying awake in the darkness wondering how you will meet the morning. I am declaring over your life at this very hour that the cycle of emptiness is broken. It ends here. It ends now. Not gradually, not over many slow seasons. It shatters like clay against stone. I am pouring out a season of favor, unlike anything you have walked through before. This is not ordinary provision meant to keep you barely alive. This is supernatural abundance, the kind that makes no sense to the human mind, but floods every dry and barren place in your life. Even the heavens are conspiring in your favor right now. Forces you cannot see with your eyes are aligning on your behalf. Currents you cannot feel with your hands are changing direction, and every single one of them is flowing toward you. What is coming will not be explained by human logic. Do not even try to trace it back to something you did or someone you impressed. What is arriving at your door is a response from the throne of heaven itself. provision of celestial dimensions that no earthly formula could ever produce. I am the source, I alone, and my supply knows no end and no limit. Watch for the signs, for they have already begun. Solutions will appear where yesterday there were none. Doors will swing open that no human hand has pushed. People who had long forgotten your name will suddenly remember you and reach out, moved by an unseen hand they cannot explain. Provision you never requested will arrive at your feet without condition. Paths that were sealed shut will clear before your very eyes. These are not coincidences, my child. These are my fingerprints pressed firmly upon the pages of your story. I ask you now to respond with an act of faith that reaches beyond words alone. Take what is in your hand, your provision, your seed, and place it upon the altar before me. As a farmer trusts the soil with precious grain, trust me with your sowing. Let your offering rise as a declaration that you serve a God who multiplies what is given in faith. Place your seed where your faith stands, and watch heaven respond. I open doors that no force on earth can close behind you. When I send provision, nothing in this world can intercept it. No enemy can redirect what I have aimed at your life. What I release travels on a path that cannot be blocked, cannot be stolen, cannot be delayed by any power. It arrives exactly when I intend it, carrying my name upon it like a seal that cannot be broken. I know you have been taught by years of disappointment to expect very little from tomorrow. Life has trained you to keep your hopes pressed low, to build walls around your heart so the fall would never cut too deep. But I am not life. I am the giver of life. And what I place in your hands does not arrive with sorrow trailing behind it. My blessing carries no bitter edge. It comes full, it comes clean, and it comes overflowing beyond the rim. The provision I am sending will surprise you in ways your mind cannot yet hold. It will arrive through doors you did not know existed in walls you thought were solid. It will come through voices you never expected to speak your name. Some of it will arrive quietly, like dew forming in the earliest hours before the world wakes. Some of it will come suddenly, like rain breaking from a sky that held no clouds. But all of it will carry one unmistakable mark. It will be far more than you could have ever arranged on your own. Those you love will be touched by what I am doing. Those you carry in your prayers, the ones whose names you whisper to me in the still and quiet hours. I have heard every prayer you have lifted for them. Not one has been lost. Not one has drifted past me unnoticed. The answers are already in motion, traveling toward you and toward them at the speed of my faithfulness. Stop striving now. Stop gripping so tightly to what little remains in your trembling hands. Open your fingers. Open your heart wide. What I am bringing into your life is far greater than anything you are clutching right now. You cannot receive the new while holding the old with desperate fists. Release it to me. I have never once failed to provide for those who place their trust upon my name. This is your season of supernatural overflow. The wells that ran dry are filling again with water that will not run out. The fields that lay barren are turning green beneath my hand. The storehouses that stood empty are being filled to the beams with more than you can carry alone. I am doing this, not your effort, not your planning, not your connections. I am doing this because I love you, and because it was always my design to bring you to this very moment, this abundance, this wonder, this place where you finally see that I was working all along. Stand firm and do not move from this place of trust. Do not waver when the first wave of blessing arrives and your mind struggles to believe it is real. It is real. I am real. And every word I have declared over your life is now coming to pass. Trust me with the same faith that moved a weary fisherman to cast his net one final time at my word. That faith shattered the impossible then, and it is shattering the impossible for you right now. I know what they said about you. I heard every whisper and every careless word spoken over your name. They looked at your season of silence and called it failure. They measured your stillness and declared you finished. But I am here to tell you, They were wrong. Every last one of them was wrong. Some spoke of you as a project that never came together. They pointed at your delays and said your best days were behind you. They watched you struggle and shook their heads, already writing the final chapter of your story in their own minds. But they do not hold the pen. I do. And I have not written your ending yet. My beloved, I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am the beginning, and I am the end. If I started something in you, I will bring it to completion. And if I have not yet finished, then the ending has not arrived. It is not ruin that awaits you. It is not defeat that stands at your horizon. It is glory. Pure, undeniable, unmistakable glory. And nothing in heaven or on earth can stop it from reaching you. Those who discarded you will stand and watch. Those who mocked your journey will become witnesses to your rising. The very ones who counted you out will not be able to deny what I do through you. Their words of doubt will turn to dust in the wind of my blessing. This is not revenge. This is revelation. I am revealing what I have always known about you. Listen closely, for I tell you now, I am doing something new. Can you not perceive it? It is already sprouting. Even now, beneath the surface of what you can see, new roots are taking hold. New life is pressing upward through soil that once seemed barren. What appeared dead was only dormant. What looked abandoned was being prepared. I was never absent. I was planting in secret what I will soon reveal in the open. I am removing obstacles that have stood in your path for years. Ancient barriers, some you knew about, some you never even saw. I am tearing them down. Hidden alliances that were working against your progress, agreements made in darkness that held you back, chains forged in seasons you cannot even remember. I am undoing every single one. No weapon formed against you will stand. No scheme designed to delay you will hold. I have sent angels ahead of you. Right now, as my voice reaches you, there are forces at work on your behalf that your eyes cannot yet perceive. Messengers of my purpose are clearing the road before your feet. They are moving stones. They are opening gates. They are silencing adversaries. The path that once seemed impossible is being made straight, and you will walk it with confidence. I am aligning everything. People you have not yet met are being positioned to cross your path. Connections you never could have arranged on your own are being woven together by my hand. Opportunities that seemed reserved for others are being redirected toward you. Resources that were locked away are being released. Nothing that belongs to you will remain out of reach. What I have assigned to your name, no one can reassign. Hear these words and let them settle deep in your spirit. This is a time of unusual acceleration. What once moved slowly will now move with speed that astonishes you. What seemed years away is approaching faster than you imagined possible. Doors will open before you even knock. Answers will arrive before the questions fully form on your lips. Provision will appear before the need becomes desperate. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is the hand of your Creator, moving on your behalf with urgency and purpose. The days that felt repetitive are about to shift. The monotony that made you wonder if anything would ever change, it is breaking apart even now. New mornings are coming. Mornings that carry fresh mercy and fresh direction. You will wake and sense the difference in the air. You will feel it in your bones. Something has changed. Something has moved. The season has turned. What was dry will flourish. What was withered will bloom again. I am pouring living water over every barren place in your life. Fields that produce nothing will yield a harvest so abundant, you will need help to gather it all. The emptiness that echoed through your days is being filled with purpose, with joy, with meaning that runs deeper than anything the world could offer. I am accelerating processes that should have taken years. I am compressing timelines and collapsing distances. Lost time is being restored to you. Not merely replaced, but multiplied. What was stolen from you will be returned with interest. What the enemy devoured, I am bringing back sevenfold. Years of drought are being answered with a flood of blessing. You will look back and marvel at how quickly everything changed. You will say, Only God could have done this. And you will be right. My precious one, the speed of what is coming will stagger those who watch. Promotions that should have taken a decade will arrive in a single season. Breakthroughs that others labored a lifetime to reach will be handed to you in a moment of my favor. I am not bound by human timelines. I make rivers in the desert and roads through the wilderness. What I compress, no calendar can contain. What I accelerate, no obstacle can slow. I am not slow. I am not late. I am perfectly on time, and my time for you is now. The waiting was not wasted. Every tear watered the seed. Every night of endurance strengthened the foundation. And now, what was built in the hidden place is about to be unveiled for all to see. Get ready. Position your heart. Open your hands. What is coming will require both arms to carry. State, I believe it. If you know this acceleration belongs to your life today. I need to speak to you now about the doors that closed. I know how it felt when they shut in your face. I know the sting of standing before an entrance you believed was meant for you, only to find it sealed. You knocked, you pleaded, you tried again and again, and still it would not open. But hear me clearly. Those closed doors were not rejections. They were redirections, every single one. I did not stop you out of cruelty. I did not block your path to punish you or hold you down. I stopped you because I love you. I held you back because I could see what you could not. Behind some of those doors were traps dressed as opportunities. Behind others were paths that would have led you far from everything I designed for your life. You called it loss. I call it rescue. You called it denial. I call it protection. My child, the no you heard yesterday is the yes that will be celebrated tomorrow. What felt like refusal was preparation. What felt like abandonment was positioning. I was not turning my back on you. I was turning you toward something greater. I was steering you away from the counterfeit and toward the authentic. Every closed door was a compass pointing you home. Do not mourn what I removed from your hands. Some of those things you held so tightly were never meant to stay. They served a season, but that season has ended. Had you carried them further, they would have become burdens too heavy to bear. I took them not to leave you empty, but to make room for what your hands were truly shaped to hold. Trust the emptying. It was preparation for a greater filling. Now listen to what I am building. It is bigger than anything you dared to dream. You made your plans, and they were good plans. But my plans are better. You imagined a certain kind of future, and I smiled at your vision. But what I have in store will make your greatest dreams look small by comparison. I am organizing things on a scale you cannot yet comprehend. Connections you never imagined are being forged. Restorations you never even thought to ask for are already underway. There are people being prepared right now to walk beside you, allies you have not yet met, partners in purpose whose paths will intersect with yours at exactly the right moment. These are not random encounters. These are divine appointments set in place before the foundations of the earth. I am weaving a tapestry of relationships and opportunities so intricate, so perfectly timed, that when you see it come together, you will fall to your knees in wonder. I am bringing dignity to what was once a source of shame. The very things that made you hide your face, the failures, the falls, the seasons you wish you could erase. I am transforming them. What was your greatest humiliation will become your most powerful testimony. The places where you felt the deepest disgrace are the exact places where my glory will shine brightest. Shame has no authority over you anymore. I am lifting it from your shoulders, like a garment that was never yours to wear. Your past defeats are not dead ends. They are living testimonies waiting to be spoken. Every battle you thought you lost, I was using to forge strength within you. Every wound that scarred you, I was weaving into a story that would bring hope to others. The valleys you walked through will become the bridges that carry others to safety. Nothing was wasted. Not one tear. Not one sleepless night. Not one moment of suffering. But hear this. I am also dismantling structures in your life that were built outside my design. There are things you constructed with your own hands, in your own wisdom, that were never part of my blueprint. Some of these structures felt secure. Some of them looked impressive. But they were built on foundations I never laid, and they cannot hold what I'm about to pour into your life. Do not grieve as they come apart. I am making room for something that will stand forever. I am eliminating duplicates and imitations that have cluttered your purpose. The enemy has scattered counterfeits across your path, things that looked like your calling but were hollow copies, roles that resembled your destiny but carried none of my anointing, relationships that mimicked covenant but lacked my blessing. One by one, I am removing them. What remains after the clearing will be pure, genuine, and unmistakably mine. My beloved, your discernment is being sharpened even now. What was hidden beneath layers of confusion is being brought into the light. Fog is lifting. Deception is losing its grip. You will begin to see people and situations with a clarity that surprises even you. Motives that were once disguised will become transparent. Paths that seemed uncertain will become obvious. You will know the difference between my voice and every imitation. You will speak with certainty, not arrogance, certainty. The kind that comes not from having all the answers, but from knowing the one who does. When you open your mouth, words will carry weight. When you give counsel, wisdom will flow. You will no longer second-guess every decision or shrink back from every challenge. Peace will guide your choices. Confidence will steady your steps. You will decide with peace. The anxious deliberation, the endless weighing of options that left you paralyzed, that season is ending. I am placing within you a knowing that transcends logic. It is the peace that surpasses understanding, and it will guard your heart and mind. When a decision is right, you will feel it settle in your spirit like an anchor finding the sea floor. When a path is wrong, you will sense it immediately, and you will have the courage to walk away. You will walk with purpose, not wandering, not drifting, not simply surviving from one day to the next. You will move with intention. Every step will carry meaning. You will know why you are where you are and where you are going. The aimlessness that once defined your journey is being replaced with divine direction. You are not lost. You were never lost. You are being led through the wilderness to reach the promised land. I am awakening a security within you that does not come from your own effort. It does not depend on your performance or your achievements. It is not built on what you do. It is rooted in who you are. And who you are is mine. You belong to me. That truth alone is the foundation of every confidence you will ever need. Not striving, not proving, not earning. Simply resting in the unshakable reality that you are chosen. You are loved, and you are exactly where I need you to be. This security flows from communion with me. It grows in the quiet moments when you draw near, and I draw near to you. It strengthens in the stillness, in the surrender, in the simple act of being present with your Creator. The world will tell you that strength comes from hustle, and power comes from position. But I tell you, the greatest strength you will ever know comes from kneeling. The deepest power you will ever carry comes from resting in my presence. Stay close to me. In that closeness, you will find everything you have been searching for. Listen closely now, for what I am about to speak over you carries the weight of a new beginning. You are not entering an ordinary season. This is not a small shift or a minor adjustment. What is approaching your life cannot be explained with human logic. It cannot be measured by anything you have known before. I am doing something so far beyond your expectation that when it arrives, you will stand in holy silence, because no words will be enough. I am deploying resources on your behalf right now. I am sending help from directions you never considered. I am stirring hearts, provoking connections, and arranging encounters that have been reserved for this precise moment in your journey. These are not accidents. These are not coincidences. Every piece is moving because I set it in motion long before you ever spoke the prayer. even the ones you carry in prayer. I am positioning blessings around them because of the road you chose to walk with me. Here is the sign I give you, my beloved. What once required struggle will now flow with peace. Where you used to fight for every inch of ground, you will walk forward and find the way already cleared. That settled calm in your spirit. That is the evidence that I have taken visible control. I am no longer working only in secret. I am stepping into the open places of your life, and what was hidden will begin to manifest with unmistakable clarity. Others will see it. You will feel it. And there will be no question about whose hand is behind it all. I am renewing your mind even as you hear these words. I am tearing down old arguments, those worn-out ways of thinking that kept you small, the lies that told you nothing would ever change, the patterns that kept you circling the same ground year after year. I am breaking them now, not gently, not slowly, but with the full force of my authority. Those chains have no legal right to hold you any longer. I have revoked every agreement the enemy thought he had over your thought life, over your confidence, over your sense of worth. My precious one, understand what I have been doing in the quiet. I was teaching you in secret. I was building something inside you during those hidden seasons, when nobody noticed your growth. When the world looked at you and saw stillness, I saw preparation. When others assumed you were stuck, I knew you were being forged. Every loss you endured formed character that cannot be shaken. Every silence I allowed made your spirit more sensitive to my voice. Every door I closed made you wiser, sharper, more discerning than you were before. You will not return to the cycles of the past. That revolving door of disappointment, that familiar sting of almost, it ends here. I am sealing that chapter with my own hand, and I am sealing it permanently. You are moving forward, and the road behind you is closing. Not because I am harsh, but because I love you too fiercely to let you wander back into what nearly destroyed you. The old ground has nothing left for you. The soil there is barren. The wells there are dry. Everything ahead is new. But hear this. This new time requires a new way of walking. You will no longer live by reaction. You will no longer be tossed by every wind, shaken by every voice, moved by every fear. From this moment, you walk by direction. My direction. With peace as your compass. With clarity as your lamp. With strength rising from a place so deep inside you that the storms of life will hit the surface, but never reach your foundation. You will move with a quiet confidence that startles even those who thought they knew you. That confidence does not come from you. It comes from me living inside you. I am marking your steps with precision. Every turn, every crossroad, every decision, I will be there before you arrive. I am giving you discernment to recognize the detours before they waste your time. I am giving you wisdom to build with excellence, to steward what I place in your hands with faithfulness that honors both the gift and the giver. And I am giving you vision, not clouded, not partial, but sharp and clear, to advance without fear into the territory I have already conquered for you. My child, this is your commissioning. This is the moment everything shifts. Not because you have earned it, but because I have chosen it. Not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. Stand tall. Breathe deep. Let the weight fall from your shoulders. I am carrying it now. Lift your eyes from the ground and look at the horizon I have painted for you. It is vast. It is good. And I will walk every step of it beside you. Never behind, never far. Always close enough to hear your whisper. The old you could not carry what is coming, but the one I have been shaping in the fire, the one who endured, who held on, who refused to let go of faith even in the darkest hour, that is the one who will walk this new road. And you are ready. I have made you ready. Now rise and walk forward with me. Say, I am ready, if you are willing to walk forward into everything I have prepared for you.
We run on viewer support only. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.